is thinking.
I'm dedicated to it. I can't be stopped.
Yeah, I'm one of them, don't give a damn, live off the land, Ted Nugent fan, hair to my shoulder, country all over. Daddy was a soldier, so if you find yourself way out here where the back roads wind to me and mine, why don't you stop by, meet the wife, grab a beer, Lord knows you're gonna hear.
Wait till you see the entire video. Am I a lucky guitar player or what? Which, by the way, the music made me do it. Oh, yeah, the music made me do it. Now I'm going to do it to you. Music, it is the stimuli of life. In fact, the Ted Nugent roustabout all-American blood brother, funk brother, hell-raising, Gonzo sons of Chuck Berry and James Brown will be in Waukesha, Wisconsin at the state fair. This is so cool. I think I still hold the record for the state fair in Waukesha, Wisconsin on July 18th. I love you people. I love music. I love soulful, dedicated, heart and soul musicians. That's why when I met Ira Dean, I went, hey, this guy looks like a heart and soul, soulful, dedicated, work ethic, God, family, country, all-American, hell-raising, backstrap, spirit of the wild blood brother. So I give you this new video. We're going to show it in its entirety. But right now, my funk brother, my soul brother, my blood brother, Ira Dean, welcome to the Spirit Campfire. Can you feel the heartwarming coals with Uncle Ted or what?
I feel it, Uncle Ted. I feel it, man. Thank you for having me on. How you been?
You bet. Well, let's talk about, I just, this is airing the day after Independence Day, and your song celebrates a man that embodied rugged individualism, defiance, the American dream, entrepreneur, working hard, playing hard spirit, Charlie Daniels. The name of your song is What Would Charlie Daniels Do? Ira Dean, I am so honored and humbled and appreciative to be invited and to play a Detroit fire-breathing guitar on this masterpiece song. Tell us where you came from, why we deserve each other, and what this song represents to your personal life, because it represents the same to mine.
Well, I'm the son of my father was in Air Force. My brother was in the Navy. My nephew was in the Marines. My brother-in-law went to Vietnam. I am proud of my country. That flag isn't just 13 stripes and 50 stars. It represents the blood, sweat, and tears of Americans fighting for our freedom. And I'm a proud American. And the song came from just watching TV and these peaceful protests burning that beautiful flag of ours, and being cut off and flipped off by a dude in I changed to a Prius, but it was actually a white Porsche Cayenne with California plates. There's just a lot of hatred in the world, and a lot of people bashing this beautiful country of ours. And I thought about the times I spent with Charlie Daniels, who loved our country. He loved God, family, country, backed the brothers in blue, the first responders. I was sitting there thinking, I wonder what he would do. And so I started just writing this thing out, and it got to the guitar, second verse, and I thought of you, and had to put you in there because I've been a fan since I was, a runt, and I love you, man. And so I wrote it, sent it to you. I'm proud of this song, and I think Charlie would be proud too. But then you promised me you put a monster solo on it, and you held up. You did exactly what you said you'd do, man. You played your tail off on it, man.
Well, ditto. We're surrounded by working hard, playing hard people that put our heart and soul into being in the asset column. Charlie Daniels was certainly in the asset column, but isn't it true, Ira, I talk about how I don't write songs. I grab my Gibson Birdland and get a great tone and grooves and rhythms and patterns and bastardized honky tonks and boogie woogies and soulful, Otis Redding patterns come out. When you created, I won't even say you authored or wrote the What Would Charlie Daniels Do? You saw the disconnect from people who are clearly pursuing their position in the liability column, hating freedom, hating secure borders, hating that men should only compete with men, hating that people would actually put men in women's locker room. You saw this when you sat down. You didn't write this, did you? You probably picked up guitar and it flowed out of your spirit and your guts with sincerity and emotion. Have I nailed the process for Ira Dean creating this "What Would Charlie Daniels" song do?
100%. Truth be known, I'm dyslexic. I can't read out loud, but yet I make a living writing songs and playing. But this was definitely channeled from above, and I feel like Charlie was in the room. I tell everybody, you know, I just hold the pen. That's my job. I hold the pen and be quiet, and something happens. And I don't want to take credit for it.
Let's talk about your other channeled, sincere masterpiece with the great Aaron Lewis. What a dynamo dog that guy is. I love Aaron and the song "Am I the Only One?" It happened the same way, didn't it? But by the way, thank you for that song. I've never listened to what would be considered a ballady type, easygoing song until I heard Aaron Lewis perform your masterpiece, "Am I the Only One?" And it resonated with the best families in America. Tell us about that process.
That was going over to Aaron Lewis's house, and me and Aaron, a guy named Jeffrey Steele, went over to Aaron's to write because the manager called and said they needed a song for this album. And Aaron was watching the news, and it was the same thing. We saw there was a lot of Americans that weren't having a voice. It seems like a lot of songs were coming out on the other side, but nobody was actually speaking about reality, what was going on in the world today. And Aaron wanted to do that. And we wrote the first verse and chorus in the living room, and then went on the back porch and had chips and queso and wrote the second verse. And it really fell out that fast. It was just being a voice, being a mouthpiece for the other side, the ones that really wanted to be heard.
Thank you for that.
And they spoke loudly.
That is true. It truly is a masterpiece. Now we have a couple of minutes left on the Ted Nugent Real America Voice. Boy, that's the appropriate title. Ted Nugent Real America Voice Spirit Campfire. All the perfect ingredients for the celebration of Independence Day every day. Thanksgiving Day every day. Memorial Day, Veterans Day every day. When you called me and I unleashed this guitar solo in my Texas Man Cave Cuckoo's Nest Arsenal of Democracy, and then you came out and we filmed the mighty fire-breathing Al Gore pain and suffering Ford Zebra Bronco. Was that all right? Could there be better imagery in the world than you and I standing on top of the Zebra Bronco playing this classic "What Would Charlie Daniels Do?" Charlie Daniels would have got on top of that Bronco one way or another. He would have joined us, wouldn't he?
Oh, 100%, 100%. I'm still got goosebumps from that day, and I had a blast, man. Just being in that Bronco tearing through the woods, and we definitely were feeling American that day, and that the video came out killer. And like I said, Ted, thank you so much for the hospitality. Thank you for making this song be what it should be. It wouldn't have been the same without you, and I hope Charlie's looking down smiling.
I guarantee he is, and so is our family. So are good Americans going to celebrate this. Now the video, it's. Even if it wasn't me, and even if it wasn't my truck, and even if it wasn't that Birdland, it wouldn't exist without those ingredients. It's a masterpiece of eye candy, freedom, defiant, independent spirit, eye candy. When can people see the Ira Dean "What Would Charlie Daniels Do" masterpiece, soulful song, and the video with the old Detroit guitar player? When is that going to be available to people?
That comes out on the 5th anniversary of Charlie's passing. That's July 6th, 2 days after Independence Day, and it drops everywhere. And I don't care who was in that. It wouldn't be the same, Ted. It would not have been the same. You're selling yourself short. You added to that song 100-fold, man. And I wouldn't have done it without you. That video would not be the same without you, and it wouldn't have the same spirit. And I consider you a brother, and thank you so much, man.
Well, you know, I use the term blood brother, which is an Aboriginal term that you will be there for each other, that you will drop what you're doing and be there to protect and support and aid your fellow man. We are blood brothers. We are funk brothers because that's the Motown musical pillar of all things soulful music, authoritative music. So blood brothers, and Funk Brothers. So you qualify in all three categories, and there is a bunch of us. I mean, when you're playing bass with Brooks and Dunn, there is a soulfulness in that backing band. And all these country bands, they're actually rhythm and blues bands, aren't they?
We're all just rockers wanting to be, we're country players wanting to be rockers these days. We're all, I wish I would have done the rock thing. And yeah, we think we can play rock until you come along and play a track down. And you go, oh, that's how it's done. So, but back to Brooks and Dunn, I want to tell you something. Every night we have a song. They have a song called "Only in America," and we play that, and the American flag flies, and the troops come out in formation on stage, and and stand at attention. And every night the crowd goes nuts, and that warms my heart to see Americans loving America. That just proves to me there's more of us loving this country than the ones that are burning flags.
Yep. Well, you bring a soulfulness and authority to music. You obviously were raised by Bob Babbitt and James Jamerson of the Motown Funk Brothers and Duck Dunn of Booker T and the MGs. I can name them all. Jack Bruce of Cream and Gregor Rama of the Amboy Dukes. So, Ira, I love you and your family. I'm honored to join you in this musical celebration for the great Charlie Daniels. Thanks for coming on this wild Gonzo technology. But celebrate Independence Day every day. I think the battle cry, and I'm going to keep saying it on my Spirit Campfire, on Ted Nugent Spirit of the Wild, on Pursuit Channel. What would Charlie Daniels do? He can be a guiding light for the right decisions that benefit quality of life in the United States of America. Ira Dean, masterpiece song, What Would Charlie Daniels Do? Look it up. It's awesome. I had a riot. Have a great weekend. Independence Day forever, everybody.